This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the EVERGOODS Mountain Panel Loader 22, or MPL22, which I've been testing for the past 3 weeks. Let's dive in. So if you've seen EVERGOODS bags before, you're going to see a lot of the stuff that you're used to seeing from EVERGOODS when it comes to materials, hardware, all that jazz. But if you haven't, we'll dive into the materials now. We've got 420D high tenacity nylon 6. So very durable, highly water resistant. This material just does a very good job at pretty much everything you ask it to, and I think it looks pretty sleek as well. Get you a little closer even to see the texture on it. Just a very durable material, and it's not super heavy either. I mean, this is a heavy backpack, don't get me wrong, it's not super lightweight. But for how durable it is, it's lighter than you would think it would be, if that makes sense. When it comes to hardware, we've got YKK zippers, very easy to open and close. And then something I like about EVERGOODS is they always have these little tabs on the ends of the zipper. At least the main compartment on this one, you don't have it up here on the secondary zippers, but on the main compartment you have these tabs so you can open it easier when you have more stuff put inside of here, and these are also bigger zippers, so they're a little bit harder to open and close. And you can also feed the zippers through there. It acts as like kind of a little security feature, because if you have those pulled through there and someone tries to open the zipper, they can't do it as easily. They kind of have to feed it through and then open it. As this is a more of an outdoor backpack, not as big of a deal, but it is nice to have that if you're using this in the city or for commuting or whatever. But one of my favorite features about this backpack are these side pockets. So we've got an empty one over here that I can show you a little bit better. They're absolutely massive and they're stretchy. So you can really fit pretty big gear inside of there. I was able to put my travel tripod inside of there, but I don't have that with me right now because I bent one of the legs and it won't collapse. So I was not able to stow that in there to show you, but it does fit inside of there. And then we also have a water bottle over here on this side. So this is a big beefy water bottle. I'm not sure this is 32 ounces. So this also fits my 42 ounce Nalgene. Fits in there no problem, whether I'm riding my bike, walking, or just throwing it into the car. It fits in there, and nothing has popped out of either of these pockets yet. I really like these. They're stretchy, and when they're not in use, they don't like bulge out or anything like that, which I think is a good thing, because not everybody uses side pockets or uses water bottle pockets the same. So you could put a smaller piece of gear in there as well. You know, you could throw a book in there, because these are big enough to fit like a small paperback book. But we have a top handle up here. No real padding or anything like that. It's got like a hard piece of plastic inside of there, but very easy to hold on to. Grab it and go. This is a backpack, so obviously you're going to be putting it on your back most of the time, but it's nice to be able to have this if you're setting it down and you need to get up quickly, or you're on public transit. You can grab it and hold it from that. And then we have the EVERGOODS logo here down on the bottom corner. So as you can see, it is a hook and loop fastener, so you can throw a patch on there if you want, or just leave it like this, and it's pretty minimal. You can't see it from a distance, but there's a little diagonal line there that is their logo. So whatever you want to do with it, you can do it with it. That was weird, but you know what I mean. So as I said before, the harness system shares a lot of components that we're used to seeing on harness systems from EVERGOODS, but we'll go over it all the same. So on the back panel here, we have pretty good padding, and it's all around the back panel. It goes literally from the top here by the shoulder straps all the way down to the bottom. And there is really good aeration. You can't really tell just by looking at it, but there's some nice aeration there, and it stays pretty cool, especially for an all black backpack. It is going to get a little bit sweaty on like a really hot day, but overall I think it performs pretty well. I've ridden my bike with this thing, gone on walks with this thing, and it does better than other black backpacks that have capable mesh and stuff like that. So I'm very happy with this, and also just very comfortable. On the shoulder straps here, as you can see, they have a bit of an S-curve. Pretty comfortable. We have nice padding on those as well. And this here is where the hydration hose can come through on either side. So we'll talk about that more when we get into the main compartment, but it comes right through here, and it's kind of nice and secure, so it's not going to go anywhere. We've got a sternum strap here with Duraflex buckle on there. Good Duraflex hardware. One of the best companies in the business, in my opinion, and just never pops open when you don't want it to. Very easy, very snappy. But it is on a rail here, or not on a rail, it's on a ladder here, not on a rail, so you can't make those micro adjustments. But it does stay put. So if this is more of an outdoor backpack, if it were on a rail, I find that those kind of move around more than you want them to, and this stays put, and I like that. You can also remove it if you don't want to use it. But moving towards the bottom here, we do have a hip belt. No padding or aeration or anything on it, just a hip belt. You can also remove it if you don't want to use it. It is a kind of a small backpack to even have one, but I do like it if you are going for a longer hike. You can use this to kind of shift the weight around a little bit, and if you don't want to use it, just take it off. So if you are finding this video helpful, make sure you throw a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So I shifted the mic onto the sternum strap because it was like right in the wrong place. But as you can see, that's where I like it to sit, about there, but you can move it because it is on the ladder. But as far as a 22-liter backpack goes, this is it feels a little bit big for me personally, but it's so comfortable, I don't really mind. And I feel like I'm actually able to fit more gear inside of this than I have been able to fit in other 22-liter backpacks in the past. So some of you might have noticed right away that there are no strap keepers on this. You could, I know, obviously make your own strap keepers or do something to kind of wrangle these, but the way the bag came, at least to us, these are just kind of flailing around. So if you are going to use the hip belt, like I always just like feel like I'm wearing like a karate, I don't know what it's called, a karate outfit that has like the belt or like something like that, and I'm just kind of like flailing with these. So I really like the hip belt. It's very comfortable to me personally, but you'd have to do something to wrangle these if you're going to do it long term. But very comfortable for me. I'm just over 6 foot and it sits like above my bottom there, so it just doesn't really have any issues with like gaps or anything like that. As you can see, it's all like always flush up against my back. Very good for hiking and stuff like that. So we have 2 secondary compartments to work with. That's obviously in addition to the side pockets, water bottle pockets here. So you have those that you can put stuff in, but these ones actually have zippers, so that's why they're in this section of the video. So in the top pocket here, so this is kind of weird right now because as you can see from this camera here, it like slopes down. When you're going to be getting stuff out of this bag, most of the time, it'll probably be up like this. So just keep that in mind that when I'm accessing things, it almost might seem like they're falling out, but just, you know what I'm saying. So in this pocket here, I kind of keep my daily essentials, my wallet, my phone. If I had like keys that I would want to clip onto, because I have my keys on the chum's wallet there, you can attach it to the key leash here. So red, so you can see it's really the only colorful thing going on anywhere around this backpack. But you could put some headphones in here, or if you wanted to put like your battery bank or a snack or something, you could do that as well. There's a small little pocket to put whatever you want to put inside of it, but it worked well for me to put things that I want to keep on me, like easy access to, but not necessarily in my pocket. So that's a good pocket for that. And then we have a larger pocket just below that goes all the way down to the bottom of the pack here. So I just have a long sleeve stowed in here. Slide that out. So this time of year in Michigan, it's really hot, but it can get cold in the morning and cold at night. So I think the high today is like probably close to 90 or something like that, but at night it's sometimes in the 50s, so it's nice to bring a longer sleeve so that way you're not cold if you end up being out early in the morning or late at night. That happens a lot when you're hiking too. So you can shove a packable jacket inside of here, just a regular long sleeve that you could use as a base layer or something like that. I will note that if you don't have very much inside of here, even with this long sleeve alone, this pocket can be a little bit saggy, so it's not doing it so much right now, so maybe that's a bad example, but it just kind of, it has its own depth here. So if you don't use that depth, it can kind of look a little bit just, I don't want to say wonky. I don't think it really looks bad, and when you're wearing it on your back, it kind of like the gravity brings it down a little bit. But just thought that was worth mentioning, and you really can fit a good amount of gear inside of here. So if you max this all the way out, it kind of fills out the backpack a little bit. I think it looks a little bit nicer. But if you have the main compartment completely maxed out, as I said, both these pockets do have their own depth, but it is more challenging to fit as much gear inside of here if you completely max out the main compartment. So moving into the main compartment, I should mention that one of my favorite things about EVERGOODS bags in general is the access to the main compartment. So it is just a standard clamshell opening, but there's just something about its placement and how it's shaped that I really like. You kind of get the same thing from backpacks like the ULA Dragonfly. It's like narrower than it seems like it should be, but you also have really good access. So I dig that. Also, we've got 2 zippers, so you can kind of leave them wherever you want to leave them. So if you wanted to leave them at the top for quick access, whatever, you can do whatever you want with that. So popping this open now, we don't have a ton of organization inside of here, but it's capable for what I used it for. So I'll kind of get into that now. In the lid section here, I have there's a top pocket right here that you can't see inside of, so obviously you can't see what's in there. That's a good spot to stow tech or something like that, so I just have a Nightcore battery bank in there right now. I left my cables at home on accident, so typically I would have the battery bank and then 3 USB-C cables. If you've seen my videos before, you know the cables I normally bring with me. But I like keeping that in there because I don't necessarily need to see it. It's not the end of the world if I don't bring it on a random journey, but if I was to be going hiking or something like that, maybe I would want to put those in the pocket that I can see because I want to make sure that I have it so I know that I have juice for my phone and stuff like that just in case something were to happen. So you kind of have the duality of a pocket you can't see through and then a pocket you can see through, which I just have our 3D printed Nintendo Switch in there. I can confirm that my actual Nintendo Switch did fit in there as well. It is kind of tight and I can barely fit it with my case in there, so depending on your case, you might not be able to do that. But that's what I used that when I was testing this thing with no problems. If you're going camping or something like that, obviously you probably are bringing your Nintendo Switch, but it's kind of a similar size object that most people kind of have an idea of what the size is, so you can kind of see what you can fit in there. So these are the only two real like organizational features of the pocket that aren't the laptop and hydration sleeve. So we'll dive over to this side over here. So packing cube, and packing cube. That one was kind of loud. And then I have a toiletry container and then a tech pouch where my cables normally are, but I was an idiot and forgot them today. So as you can see on the back wall here, we have space for a laptop. This is a 15-inch MacBook Pro. Fits in there, it's a little bit tight, but it does fit without issue. Slide that to the side over here. So not a ton of padding here. So if you are going to be, carrying a laptop for an extended period of time, maybe you want to use a case or something like that. If you can, I'm not sure if some of the cases we have here at Packhacker HQ, if I put those on there, if it would fit inside of here. Some of the more minimalistic cases absolutely would, but just keep that in mind if you have a 15-inch computer and you're going to store that in here long term, that there's just not a ton of padding there. So we have access to the frame sheet here. So hook and loop fastener, it's just a kind of a thick piece of foam there. So you can take it out if you want to, but it doesn't add much weight. It would make the backpack more kind of packable if you were to take it out, because it kind of just bends right now, but it won't fold. So that's pretty easy to access if you want to take it out, but I didn't see any reason to. And then we also have the access points up here. Make sure I get the right spot here. So the hose comes through like that, and you have the access port right here. So you can kind of see my fingers are up in there now. So if you want to run it to either sleeve, you can do that. And that's where you'd obviously put the hydration bladder right here as well. So you can't put the hydration bladder and also a laptop in here. I mean, I guess you could, but I definitely would not do that. So you have to do one or the other, which I could see being a problem, but for a 22-liter backpack, I really wouldn't expect it to do that. And you also, I should mention, have a loop right here as well to hold the bladder up. So you put it in here, you run it through the loop either this way if you're going to that one, or this way if you're going to this one. So it kind of holds it up. But as I said, there really isn't a ton of organization going on inside of here. You just have kind of like a big dump pocket. And I really prefer that. And I know I've probably said this about EverGoods a million times, but the reason I like their bags so much is because they're not really tailored to any one thing. This is the Mountain Panel Loader, so it's more tailored to outdoor things, but I have taken this on hikes, I've taken this on bike rides, and I've also walked with it through the city, and it works for all those things because there isn't anything that limits you inside this main compartment, or really in any of the compartments. I know that these water bottle pockets maybe aren't what all people want for walking downtown or something like that, but I love having a big water bottle with me when I'm exploring the city. So this works really well for me as an all-around backpack that I can take with me pretty much anywhere. So there you have it, the EverGoods Mountain Panel Loader 22-liter or MPL22. Thanks for keeping it here at Packhacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.